Twilight Gets a Puppy. By TDR. Chapter 102. Howls. Well, that ends well. Golden Oaks Library, Spring. Who? Aloysius hooted. Woof. Ross questioned. Who? Woof. Who? Woof. Who? Woof. Who? 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 Woof. Who? Woof. Who? Woof. Who? Woof. By Celestia's pointy horn, will you two please shut up with the hooing? Spike screamed out. Calm down, Spike. Ross isn't trying to eat him, so this is probably a good thing. If he wants to stay, I wouldn't mind having such a cute pet. He could also be useful. Twilight offered, looking over the quill she had gotten from Aloysius. Though I'll have to get Fluttershy over here to find out what he wants to do before I try any training. A pet? Spike scoffed. Remember what happened last time you had a pet? Asterisk. Flashback to 8-year-old Twilight Sparkle. Princess Celestia raised an eyebrow, looking at everyone in the dining room. Twilight, Velvet and Nightlight were huddled in a corner with Spike, who was trying to wiggle free. Shining Armor was standing between them with a shield raised as he stared at the object on the other side of the room. Twilight was sitting in the middle of the room with a small fish net and a tube of fish flakes, reading a book on aquatic animal care. Ross was sitting between her and a fishbowl the size of a pony's head, staring at its contents and growling loudly. The fishbowl in question had a, well, for lack of a better word, fish in it. What sort, Celestia couldn't tell. She also couldn't really tell what color it was or even discern the vague outline of its shape without going cross-eyed. The water of the tank appeared to be boiling and freezing at the same time, and things resembling hands with oddly boneless fingers wavered like a heat ripple over the tank and seemed connected to the fish somehow. I still can't figure out what type of fish Glub Glub is. Twilight sighed, closing the book, looking up and finally noticing the princess. Princess Celestia, what are you doing here? I received a scroll from your parents saying you got a fish. Celestia questioned. Oh, yes, I was studying the teleport spell you gave me, moving little rocks from one place to another like the training suggested trying first, and I think I forgot to carry the two because when I tried to send a slightly bigger rock, Glub Glub here came out the other side. Glub Glub demands fish flakes. Celestia blinked, not certain if the fish had spoken or she had just heard noise echoing down her horn that shaped into words in her brain. No, Glub Glub, I just fed you. Twilight scolded. Want more? No, if you eat any more you'll get fat. Twilight stated, unperturbed by the fish speaking. Not much a surprise really, considering her brother. What fat? It's what happens when you eat too much food. Twilight explained. Glub Glub like idea. Let's get fat like white one. Asterisk. I really don't know why Celestia suddenly lost control of the sun like that. Twilight sighed. But she did pay to replace the left side of the house and the neighbor's yard afterward, though. My parents seemed fine with it. Spike, Ross, and Aloysius all looked at each other, the owl looking particularly nervous. If you stay here, you'll get used to it. Spike sighed as Ross nodded. Asterisk. Rarity blinked, shifting nervously in her chair, wondering if she should offer more tea. The boutique was closed and a quartet of guards were posted at the door, with 3 more from each division situated somewhere around or inside her home. She had to admit she never would have thought coral and copper for armor colors, but somehow it worked for the Heart Guard. She already knew the Night Guard and found their color combination worked as well. Though she wondered if it would look good on something that wasn't armor. Perhaps a new line of dresses. Still, fashion was at the back of her mind as before her at the table sat not 1, but 2 princesses. One she had only met briefly and the other was here at least once a week as of late. Princess Cadance and Princess Luna had yet to say the reason for this visit, and Princess Cadance kept looking at the door as if there was some pony else she really wanted to be talking to. More tea, Princess? Rarity asked. Nay, we have never been partial to tea, though if thee has any coffee we would enjoy that. Luna offered. Rarity blinked, taking note of 3 of the night guards staring straight at her from behind Luna's back and shaking their heads and mouthing, "No," quite vigorously. "I'm afraid I'm fresh out, princess." Rarity smiled. "Pity, though we suppose we should get to our point." Luna sighed. "We would like you to accompany us to speak with the Wolf Fangs and their Alpha Jinx in particular." "Oh? Nothing is wrong, is it?" Rarity winced. "Nay, though there is a question we must ask regarding your reports on how things have been going," Luna stated. "We have noticed her questions pertaining to our grandson and wish to address it." I see. Well, so long as everything can remain civil," Rarity muttered, taking a sip of her tea. "I am rather curious as to how you feel about Ross myself." Cadence added, suddenly her horn glowing to form a shield. "Pfft, cough, cough, cough," Rarity spit took, coughing heavily. The 2 alicorns regarded the white mare as she recovered, Luna impassively and Cadence with a small devious-looking smile. "What? Cough? No, I'm unsure what you are getting at," Rarity managed, wiping her mouth with a napkin. "We have on fairly good authority that thou were quite attracted to him at one point, even going so far as to tease and flirt with him," Luna stated as Rarity turned red. That was little more than a bit of payback for a bit of a sarcastic prank he pulled on me, nothing more than that, I assure you," Rarity protested. "We also have it on good authority that you bought several of the pictures of him Spike was selling." Cadence grinned. Rarity frowned, glaring at the 2 of them, her ears flattening to her head. "I will not deny that he was attractive as a pony. I am also well aware he found me attractive when I was cursed as a diamond dog. That said," Rarity began, "I've seen it work with less." Cadence grinned. "That said," Rarity interrupted. "Sorry, that said, I have no interest in him beyond the fact he looked attractive once when he was under the curse of a poison joke. I also have no desire to undergo that curse again in order to be attractive solely to him. At worst I would hazard we are friends, nothing more or less than that." Rarity looked at them both with a sigh as they watched her picking up her cup to try and drink some of her tea before it got cold. "You realize that with his being under Luna's care he's technically a prince, right?" Cadence grinned, raising her shield again. Pfft. Asterisk. Who? Owlowishes hooted. Who? Fluttershy asked back. Who? 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 Not this again! Spike screamed. Asterisk. Jinx kept her ears flat to her head as her ice blue eyes shifted between the 2 princesses at the table. The diamond dog Alpha had gotten used to dealing with the occasional contact with Princess Celestia. Though it was usually through Lady Rarity or some other source rather than a personal visit. Of which she was quite wishing Lady Rarity had been allowed to stay, but the pair of princesses had pushed her out the moment after they were introduced. The guards of the pair stayed around and her own guards and the princesses had been staring each other down for some time now. Her advisor had slipped out as well, citing something about her new pup needing to be changed. Jinx was more certain it was because of the high level of tension in the air, and wanting to be as far away as possible if anything happened. Jinx did not blame her. "We can tell thou are nervous. Do not be," Princess Luna stated suddenly. "If we were going to wipe out thy pack, we would not bother to sit down before hoof." "That does not reassure me of anything, princess," Jinx responded. "It was not supposed to." Luna grinned. "Perhaps we can simply skip to why we are here." Cadence sighed. "Yes, that might be best." Jinx swallowed, looking at Luna the way a predator looks at an even bigger, more unpredictable predator. "It has come to our attention you have interest in a one Ross Sparkle," Cadence continued. Jinx's ears perked up at that, her eyes widening as she looked at Luna in a slightly different light. This was not a unpredictable predator, this was a mama bear noticing someone looking at one of her cubs. A far worse scenario. Yes. Jinx admitted slowly. And what sort of interest do thou have in him? Luna nearly purred. Jinx frowned. She could try to play subtle and devious, but that really was not her style. Besides which she doubted she could come up with anything that these two hadn't seen before. I wish to take him as a mate. Jinx stated flatly. Oh? Cadence questioned. Why is that? In case you have not noticed, the entirety of diamond dog culture tends to be based on strength over everything else. It is rare that a truly intelligent pup is born that can rise to the status of alpha. One such as that can change how a generation of dogs does something, but only until the next alpha comes along, and that new one may undo everything the old one has put together. However, if there is a strong family line, many will follow simply due to what the previous alpha has done. Bitches do not traditionally hold the position of alpha. I gained a few dogs who were loyal to my father and a number of others who liked the idea of a change, but there were other groups I have had to fight to remain in control of. Jinx explained, unconsciously whipping the stub of her tail. Many of whom have changed their way of trying to fight me to attempting to court me, and I have issues with idiots. I'm not sure I follow. Cadence frowned. I have been keeping an eye on Ross since he first came to Ponyville. He strikes me as both strong and intelligent. Two things I seek in a mate. Add in that he has no experience in how diamond dog politics work makes him even more desirable, as I doubt he would seek to usurp my status as alpha. Jinx smiled. Politics aside, that he is quite attractive does add somewhat to my interest. Interesting. Luna tilted her head. So thou wishes for pups from him. That is the general intent when one chooses a mate, is it not? Jinx shrugged. Cadence looked as if she was going to say something, though Luna cut her off. Indeed. Luna stated, considering for a second. We accept thy intent, as we do not see any falsehoods in it. We shall however warn thee of 3 things before we agree to allow thou to pursue our grand pup. All right, the Midnight Black Alpha sighed. First and foremost, if this is some sort of trick or end goal to bring harm to anyone, we will be most displeased. Luna stated flatly. Thou does not want us to be displeased. Noted. Jinx winced. Secondly, due to his past encounters with diamond dogs, I expect thee will have a hard time getting him to accept thee. Luna continued. Not to mention Twilight's reaction. Cadence added. I expected as much, but I have prepared for that. Jinx nodded. Finally, thou art not the only one we have allowed to attempt to win his paw. So there will be competition. And it would be best if it remained friendly for all involved. Luna finished. I'm not against him having other mates so long as I am able to have a litter or 2 with him. Jinx added. Oh? Cadence asked. Diamond dogs are rarely monogamous, princess. Most flock to the strongest, to have the strongest pups. And if the current strongest falls, the next strongest will do. Things are much more complicated than that, of course, particularly when love and jealousy enter into it. Jinx smirked. While I am not in the slightest bit against being exclusive, as there are no others that interest me, I am not against him having his own pack of females following him. So long as he can perform the duties I need him to. We see. Luna nodded. Not unlike the herds that they had in the olden days. There are still a few groups out there that practice that sort of thing, Auntie. Cadence considered. But I think I have all I need here, and we have one more to visit before returning to Canterlot. Thank you for your time, Lady Jinx. We will be in touch. Asterisk. Oh good, so he's willing to stay? Twilight asked, looking at the little owl hopping around on the desk. Oh yes, Owlowishes actually came into town to find somewhere to stay. The forest is getting more dangerous and he's still just a little owl. Fluttershy stated. He was actually on his way to find me when he came across your light last night. Who? Owlowishes agreed. What do you feed owls anyway? Spike asked. He can do his own hunting, though I can mix up some treats for him. Unless Ross wants to share some of his hunts. Fluttershy suggested. Ross gasped dramatically as if he was shocked by the very notion, his long ears flatting to his head as he clutched at his chest. The display was mostly ignored. Well, after the Hydra and everything else we've seen out in the forest, I can certainly understand why he wanted to come into town. Twilight nodded. That he thought about that just shows how smart he is too. I'm sure he can help with a number of things as an assistant. Wait. Spike spoke up. You're making him an assistant? I'm already your assistant. I can have more than one assistant, Spike. Twilight rolled her eyes. Do I still get paid? Spike demanded. Sure, when you actually do some work. Twilight grumbled. Asterisk. Rainbow Dash tilted her head a little, looking at the two princesses sitting on the cloud with her. She didn't even know that alicorns could sit on clouds. Not that I mind you interrupting my nap, princessy? Is there a word for two princesses? Rainbow Dash asked. Princesses? Cadance nodded. Oh. Okay, cool. Anyway, what's up? Also, in case any pony asks, I was totally on break and not napping on the job again. Rainbow Dash added. Noted. Luna smiled. So what do you think of Ross? Cadance asked. I'd bang him. Dash shrugged. What? Luna blinked. Ya no, shag tube snake boogie, get laid, banana in a fruit salad, intermission, hook up, jerking off with someone to talk to, get lucky, oscillating the unmentionables, hump, bow chick a wow, get da booty, doing the horizontal greased weasel tango, root, cleaning the cobwebs with the womb broom, score, laying pipe, bone, nail, a bit of the old in-out adult nap time, aggressive cuddling, a bit of crumpet, attacking the pink fortress, bam in the ham, batter dipping the corn. Dog, blitzkrieg mit dem flageur, boinking, buttering the biscuit, cattle prodding the oyster ditch with the lap rocket, christening the yak, dipping the wick, extreme flirting, forbidden polka greasing the loaf pan, hot beef injection, knocking horseshoes, making the beast with two backs, negotiating the forested chasm, pants off dance off, pressure washing the quiver bone in the bitch wrinkle, sheathing the meat dagger, waka, Rainbow Dash rambled. Princess Luna blinked, staring as the tirade continued. A few of the guards had decided to poke their heads up to see what was going on, and all of them were staring in shock or confusion at Rainbow Dash. Princess Cadance, however, was taking notes. What? Luna demanded. She means having sex, Auntie. Cadance finally stated. Then why not just say that? Luna questioned. I did. Dash offered. Anyway, so you want a relationship with Ross? Cadance asked. Nah, just bang him, and even that's only iffy. Dash shrugged. He'd be perfect if he had wings. Oh, if he is in the cursed form he took? Luna questioned. Oh yeah, I'd definitely bang him when he's a pony, he's damn hot, if he wanted anyway. Though I'd probably do the same even if he wasn't cursed, ya no, just to see what a moon dog is like in bed. Dash shrugged. But he's not interested in ponies, so that's not likely to happen. Well, that would result in offspring. Luna muttered. Auntie, there are such things as contraceptives nowadays. Not every session of intercourse produces a foal, Cadance commented. What? Then why bother? Luna questioned. 'Cause it's fun. Cadance rolled her eyes. We see, and here we thought thou and Shining Armor were desperately trying for a foal, with how often we have overheard thine encounters of parking the beef cart in Tuna Town. Luna suggested. Cadance narrowed her eyes as Rainbow Dash fell over laughing. I sometimes wonder exactly how much of your naivety is an act, Auntie. Cadance grumbled. Whatever, pray tell, do you mean, our pinkest niece? Luna asked innocently. Author's note. I had way too much fun writing this chapter. As I usually put up, I have a Discord channel. Here. Number Twilight _gets_a_puppy. with me as the host. TDR number 6182. Generally I answer questions, talk shit and leak previews of the next chapters. Feel free to pop on. End author's note. End chapter 102. Howls well that ends well.